Switch the main view back to real-time mode and manipulate the camera rotation. By default, camera rotation is allowed about all axes, so heading, pitch, and bank are enabled. All we're going to do is pitch the camera down, so let's disable heading and bank to keep from accidentally rotating our camera in those directions. Pitch the camera view down so we see just terrain. The axes we disabled will stay disabled as we switch to the move and zoom modes, so keep that in mind when you manipulate the camera later on. To create a camera path for the main camera, activate it in the Plan View and Create. The Create window will confirm that we're going to create a new path for the camera main. Let's say we want to check something out in the camera editor while we're digitizing the path. Open the main camera editor from the pop-up menu Edit Views Camera item and go to the Position and Orientation page. We can retrieve the Create window and any hidden window by going up to the Window menu item and selecting the window we're looking for. The Create window settings depend on the type of vector being digitized. On the mouse page, we're set to draw in the single mode with 1 point for each mouse click. Conform defaults to small plane with matching elevation, smoothing, point space, and speed settings. Increase the elevation to 10,000 meters and the speed to 600 meters per second. Left-click a starting point at the west end of this canyon. Left-click again where it meets the canyon coming up from the south, and right-click to finish. The Input Request box will give us the time of the flight path based on our Create parameters. That looks good, so confirm it and save the project. Play the animation. The main camera is targeted, so it follows the target as it moves along its path. Stop the animation and return to frame 0. Go to the Camera Editor General page and change the camera type to Align to Path. Play the animation. The main camera is aligned to its flight path, but let's change the pitch to 60 degrees. The keyframes look good, so go back to the beginning and play the animation. Save the project and render a preview. Let's try to reduce the visible polygons in the cliffs by increasing the fractal depth. Slide down the lower scene of the glance pane and open the Terrain Parameters editor. Increase the maximum fractal depth to 3, save the project, and make another preview render. Increase the maximum fractal depth to 5 and render again. It doesn't look like the fractal depth is helping us much, so drop the maximum fractal depth back to 0. Our terrain resolution isn't good enough to give us the look we want at this elevation, but that's easy enough to change. Go to the Database Editor and disable the YNP-100M DEM. Select one of the YNP-10M tiles, layer select all the 10-meter tiles, and enable them. The plan view will refresh white since we're in overlay mode but have no resolution matched overlay image in memory. Open the View Preferences and regenerate the ecosystem map. Save the project and render the main camera view. The 100-meter terrain render took about 5 seconds at fractal depth 0. The 10-meter DEMs required more than a minute to render the same view, but at this elevation give us much better looking terrain. Here's what the camera path looks like rendered to an animation. It's in the animation folder on the Tutorial 2 CD if you'd like to see the full frame rate version.